G'day legends, welcome to another installment of 5 Minute Tones. I've got this John Sykes inspired preset for you all to grab today for the FM3. It'll work on the FM9 and the Axe FX3, of course, if you're using either of those units. But I got a gig on the weekend playing some Whitesnake songs with a Whitesnake tribute band, and this is pretty much going to be my plug it in and turn it up preset. I think we will be pretty lucky to get a line check. I think there's 7 other tribute bands playing for a kind of end of year Christmas rock party. So I wanted to just kind of capture the essence of John Sykes' tone on that record. I think John was using Boogie Mark III Coliseums on there. So I've gone with the USA Lead mid-gain amp model on here. You know, typical Mark series settings, and in the output EQ, not really a V, but some kind of dip in the mid-range and a bit of a boost in the low end in there, but a tiny amount of multi-band compression, a little bit of the rich hall reverb, and this IR that I will talk about in a second. But again, it's designed to just be plugged in and be really dirty and mean, and you play some Whitesnake riffs, and you probably have a good time. That is the rhythm scene. Anyway, this IR, I actually took my main LT-TV Mix 7 cab IR. You can grab that one in WAV format in the video description. I loaded it into CabLab in my DAW, and then I exported an IR of that with some EQ settings applied on it. So basically, I don't have any EQ happening in the cab block. I've like baked that in. Why? It just makes it easier to load this in a pinch. I don't need a parametric EQ or anything like that. I'm maybe a tiny little bit fussier on my personal live preset for playing ragdoll songs, so I use a parametric EQ in there. It gives me a little bit more control if I want to change things, but again, going to be lucky to get a line check for this gig. I don't think it matters too much there. There is, of course, a lead scene in here, which is kicking in the 2290. Now, this is the mono version of my preset, so I went into the more section and turned the phase reverse off. So this is just going to sound like a kind of sweet digital delay. There's a little bit of ducking going on there, and I've just got it synced to be a quarter note subdivision. When I do change scenes in there, you can see that there should be, in the Ideal tab, input boost and fat switch are activated by a control switch number 1, which I've set to automatically engage using the control switch per scene feature up here. You can see that it's on. So this just sounds pretty monolithic, especially on the neck pickup. Totally designed to make it a lot easier to play some of these solos that have a lot of notes. And then on scene 3, you can see this kind of interesting little top row up here. What have we got going on here? This is designed so that on this guitar, I can go to one of the split modes, and I've got a tilt EQ at 1600 Hertz. This is vaguely emulating a Rockman DI kind of clean sound. There is a studio feedback compressor being all nice and squishy on there, and some of the analog stereo chorus. What I need to do here for this mono preset is set the stereo spread to 0%. I'm going to hit save on that. This is cool because I can switch it seamlessly from my main dirty amp sound in there. I'll actually demonstrate that for you, where I'll just play a chord and switch over, and there's no gap in there. What I will share with all of you, though, is the stereo version of this preset. The only thing that I've changed is I've added the stereo spread back to the reverb in the delay. The phase reverse is on, and there's some greasy dual detune after everything. Check out the lead scene on this version of the preset. Make sure you're listening in stereo. If you don't hear any delay, that means you're listening in mono. clean scene sounds particularly lush on this version of the preset as well. Now I've mapped a bunch of things that I might need in a pinch to the perform page, namely the bypass state of the pitch and reverb block. I've got scene ignore enabled for the pitch block as well, because if I get to the gig and it sounds a little bit too 80s, not that there's such a thing for a Whitesnake tribute gig, but anyway, if I want it off across all the scenes, I can do that. The amount of solo boost in there and the amount of gain in the input trim on there, just to kind of compensate maybe if I don't have enough grease when I'm there playing live. And of course, having a mono version and a stereo version of the preset, I think is quite essential. I don't know what I'm getting on Saturday. I'm going to show up, and if they want to give me 2 XLRs, I'll give them the stereo preset. If they want to give me 1, I'll give them the mono version of the preset, and I will just do my best to play the songs with as much conviction and attitude as I can, because that's what that style of music is all about. I'll put a link in the video description to these presets if you want to grab them. And I'm just trying to think, I should probably play some kind of fun Whitesnake riff to ride you all out with. I think I've got one. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.